Okay, hi guys. So today I'm going to show you the feature health functionality that's available in Flagsmith, and that's going to enable us to um, release our features within our applications in a safer and more observable way. So in order to do that, we've got a few tools that we're going to use. So obviously the first one is Flagsmith, which we're seeing here. We're also going to use Grafana. That's going to be where we're viewing our metrics and where we're building our alerting. So right now we're monitoring the requests coming into our application and just grouping that out by status code, and we're going to use that as part of our alerting later. And we've got our marketplace application, which is going to be our demo application that we're going to use to release a new feature for. So great, let's start by just talking through how we go about enabling feature health, the integration. So in our project settings, we can go to feature health. So in order to enable feature health, we need to create a provider. You can see that we've already created our Grafana provider here, and that's given us a webhook URL. So this webhook URL is what we're then going to take to Grafana, and we're going to add that into Grafana as a contact point, which we can then trigger whenever an alert is also triggered. So over here in Grafana, in our contact points, we have created one already, our Flagsmith feature health, and we can see there that that's our webhook URL that we just saw in Flagsmith. So that gives us our contact point, and then in order to trigger that, we need to create our alert. So we've got our alert rule here, which is just triggering on increased 5xx responses. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the Grafana side of things, but just so that we can see down here, that's going to send a notification to our Flagsmith feature health contact point, which we can see is that webhook there. Great, okay, so if we go back to our dashboards, we can see our marketplace dashboard here, and everything's looking nice and green right now. We can go over here, we can log into our application, and everything's looking great. So now let's think about adding some more functionality though. So what might we want in our marketplace application? We might want a search functionality. So we're going to add that, but the first thing that we're going to do before we add that is we're going to create a flag. So in Flagsmith, I'm going to create just a product search flag. I'm going to create that, and it's going to be off for now, and we'll enable it for a percentage of our users in a minute. So if we go over to our code base now, this is the code that we're using to run the application. You can see the products that we had up here, they're just hard coded right now. And this is just a Python fast API application. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in our search. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and write all of that code right now. What I'm going to do is just check out the next commit. And we can see now that we've added that functionality. So in our index route, we're checking to see if our product search feature is enabled. We're also passing in the user that's requesting that. That's going to allow us to run tests on segments of our users. And if the search functionality is enabled, we're just updating the context when we're rendering our HTML based application or HTML template to say, yes, include the search. And if it's not enabled, we're just rendering it out without the search enabled. So we can go back and check our application. Nothing's changed. Our flag is doing its job. It's currently disabled, and everything's still healthy. Now, just a bit of foreshadowing. There is actually a bug in the code that I've added here, and we're gonna see that when we turn on our flag in a minute. and we're going to catch it with our feature health integration. So when I want to enable that flag now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Flagsmith, and I just want to enable it for a small percentage of my users. So in order to do that, I'm going to create a new segment. I'm just going to call it product search rollout, and I'm going to enable it just for 10% of my users. So that is done. So now 10% of my users are seeing the product search feature as enabled, and we should start seeing now, if we head over here and refresh, great. So we've got an alert here in Grafana. So we can see that we're getting increased 5xx responses to our application. If we refresh again, we can probably see, there we go, we've got a small amount of our traffic is now receiving a 5xx response because we enabled that feature. And we can also see that in the annotations that we're adding to Grafana in the other direction. So that's another integration that we have to send over annotations whenever things change in Flagsmith to annotate our dashboards in Grafana. So we can see here that we created a segment and that we published a new version of our product search feature. So something changed with our product search feature. We can also see back here that we created the product search feature back here, but nothing really happened until we create this new version. So if I go ahead and refresh again, you can see that those 5xx's are still creeping up. Our 200s are coming down. So if we go back over to Flagsmith now and refresh our dashboard, we can actually see that that alert has been triggered on our product search feature. So if I click into that, I can see that my Grafana provider is telling me that this product search feature is unhealthy. So, and we can see a bit of a summary as to what's happening. But the action that I'm going to take here is I'm going to go ahead and disable that feature for that rollout. And now what we're going to see, if we head back over here, is once that data starts to collect, we're going to see that the 5xx responses start to come down again. And eventually we'll see that come down to 0, and we'll see the alert become healthy again. And we'll be able to then go into debugging what might have caused that error. There we go. So we see now that the alert is healthy again. So we can see in Flagsmith now that the alert has been removed from the product search feature, and so everything is back to green. So we can go and look at our application again. Everything seems fine. All of the traffic here is green again. And like I say, we can go ahead and we can start to investigate what the cause was and fix our bug. Thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful. Thanks.